What's up, everybody? I'm Scott,
And I'm Jason.
and you're listening to Liquid Carnage. I am surprised you didn't start with Aloha because one of us is in Hawaii and one of us is not. So,
Aloha, mahalo, and and ua pua hoaloa.
uh,
That's all I know. That's all I know.
what does the other one mean? What is
I don't know. It just I heard them say it. We were at luau and they said aloha, mahalo, akapoa. They have a lot of ahs. Like
uh,
they do a lot of 14 vowels mean something
yeah.
in Hawaiian, and so yeah.
Well, good for
So
you.
well, yeah. So we're on a 3 hour time difference though. So it's kind of been weird recording, trying to find a time to record because of the time difference.
Yeah. Boo-hoo for you. I feel terrible for you.
I know.
While, while
Well,
you're while you're basking in the sun over there, we had a massive late winter, early spring storm here.
oh, good. We need the rain.
Yeah, and snow too. I mean, we got the mountain ranges, got some snow, so it's not bad. It's
Good,
typical for this time of year, though.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah. One thing that and been to Hawaii, you can attest. For those of you who haven't been to Hawaii, when you go, you'll appreciate that it's just a different time.
yeah.
It runs on a different time here, like
Hawaiian time.
uh, Hawaiian time. I was joking with Noreen that even the homeless people look fit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they have their basket full of all their stuff, but one of it is a surfboard. One of it, they're walking around in these little like Hawaiian, shorts and stuff, and they all look fit. There's no out of shape homeless people here
well,
in
you
Hawaii.
gotta walk to the beaches with your stuff, and surfing and swimming does in the ocean does burn a lot of calories. So
Oh, we were driving from where we're staying in Kihei, and then the next town over is a And when you're driving to Lahaina, it's only 25 miles, but it takes about an hour because the traffic is a lot slower.
yeah,
And there's these cars parked all up and down the coast, right? And all these people are homeless people, or they're living in their cars, their vans, their trucks, or whatever. And all I can think about is, man, if you're going to be homeless, what better place to be homeless, man? I
no,
mean,
that's what
to
some
be
people
homeless
do.
in Hawaii is almost like being just a normal citizen.
Some people just choose to do that in Hawaii just for that reason. But there's a big population now that's choosing to live in their vans or convert school buses into vehicles that they can live in, and so it's the newest rage. I mean, if you can't afford an actual house, that's probably the next best thing.
Hey, I gotta tell you what, man. When I did it, I did it for only 2 months, but I felt like a king. I felt
You
like a
did,
king in my
you did.
my Sebring.
I mean,
My Chrysler Sebring. I was a 2000. Was it 2013? Anywhere Drive, Sebring, Arizona. That was my address.
yeah. Oh, I remember.
Yep.
We never knew where we were going to see your house parked for those 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So.
So while you're out and about and on a great vacation, I'm glad you get to take these vacations because I'm terrible at them. I'm terrible at taking vacations. I don't know how. And that's one thing I've got to learn to do better is actually take a vacation. So I know Janice was on me to get going with one too. So we're gonna have to figure one out pretty quick here just to get out for a while.
Yeah, I think that the hardest thing that I've had to learn how to balance is it's very easy and it's very pressured to I got to fill every single day with an activity. I've got to do something. I've got to go somewhere, visit somewhere. You go through a week of visiting and going and traveling and doing everything that you feel like, well, I didn't really take a vacation. I
Y-
just
Yeah,
I just carried over. So like this vacation, we have things planned. Tomorrow's our longest day. We're planning a long trip to the northeast part of the island. It's a long drive. But like this morning, we were out in the water for 4 hours, but then the rest of the day we just relaxed and chilled.
yeah.
Um,
I think that's what a good vacation is, though. It's a good mix of all of that. And
right.
the last time I did get out, well, we were able to take a vacation before the pandemic to one of those resorts over in California, and I swear, I like the 5 or 6 days we were there, 2 or 3 days, all of us just hung out by the pool.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that I totally recommend that. That as I get older, I like that better.
yeah,
Just finding that time where say, I'm not going to do anything today.
yeah.
Like one day, the one of the days, the afternoon was basically lying on the beach, and that's it. It was so nice.
And I truly appreciate like where you're at, or anywhere on the coast where I can sit in a bar or outside looking at the ocean, looking at the water, just enjoying the breeze.
It is different. I mean, Arizonans especially don't get to truly appreciate um, the ocean.
Yeah.
You come to Hawaii, and basically the ocean is your front door, and you look out, and it goes on forever. There's no stop to it. It's the ocean, and it's just ongoing. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean that's true too. It's one of the great joys of life to get to see and be and spend time by the ocean, and there are only a few people are truly lucky enough to live by it and enjoy it. They also pay out the nose for it too. So I mean, there's
Yeah, yeah. We saw a house for sale just to look around. We were looking at houses. It was 970 square feet. It was one bedroom, two bath, $12 million.
yeah,
And the reason why is because it was on 1 acre beachfront property.
yeah.
I just went, holy shit.
It's funny.
970 square feet for $12 million.
For years I watched Hawaii 5-0 and the new Magnum. I like those shows, man. They're like a guilty pleasure for me. It's
Okay.
like it's the procedural crime dramas, and they're fun because Hawaii's cool. But every week there's always some kind of drug lord or nuclear bomb about to go off in Hawaii when you're watching Hawaii 5-0, and they always like get it in the last 5 minutes of the show. And when they announced the Magnum reboot 4 or 5 years ago, and it's set in the same universe because they had a crossover episode there when Hawaii 5-0 was ending and Magnum was starting. And my dad watches the same shows, and he never laughed on it. It's like how much crime happens in Hawaii where they have to have a special task force that
I
does all
know.
this. And there's a private investigator that's doing the same thing every week. And I think on the same island, are they just like tag teaming and switching off who gets what? Because it's crazy.
That's so funny.
You know?
Yeah, well, it's so weird though too. So the time difference has been throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah.
I get alerts like at 4 o'clock in the morning about work and stuff like that. Well, on Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yeah.
we're sitting there, and I get this wonderful news alert that Will Smith just smacked the crap out of Chris Rock on the
Yeah.
Oscars.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, wow, see, in Hawaii, you get a delay. It's happening real life there, but it's like, oh, hey, yeah, by the way, I know you're out on the beach somewhere, but Will Smith just smacked Chris Rock on the Oscars.
Well, you got to figure it's with that 3 hour time it's 4 in the afternoon on a Sunday. Everyone's still dicking around on the weekend, enjoying those last couple hours before they start getting ready for that work grind. So I guess it's good for them that they can see that during the day and still have something better to watch at night.
Yeah. Although I don't know, it got me thinking so much like, wow, I mean, that I've never heard or seen that before. Maybe it has happened and I just don't know my Academy Award ceremonies very well, but I watched the video and you talk about utter shock. Like that that would have been like, what am I seeing here? What am I looking at?
Well, I will tell you, Chris Rock handled it like a pro.
Okay.
I mean, it's so that within minutes, the unedited version started floating around the interwebs.
How did the unedited version? So, because I assumed there was a time delay.
Yeah, there's a time delay, but the non-time delay managed to make its way through.
Oh
So,
gosh.
I mean, if you're living under a rock and you didn't see what happened, I will describe it.
Well, I didn't see what happened live. That's for sure. I like I said, I the time difference threw me off. So I am kind of under a rock.
Okay, so Chris Rock was presenting an award, and he was making a joke, and I thought all those jokes were scripted, but maybe since he's hosted before, they let him go off the cuff, and he made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, starring in G.I. Jane 2. He says, "I love you. I can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2." Cuts the shot cut to Jada and Will. Jada wasn't laughing. Will was laughing, and then it went back to Chris. And the next thing you know, you see Will Smith walking up, smacking him, and then going back to sit down. And as Chris Rock he's saying, hey, he said what he kind of played it off and mentioned he got the shit slapped out of him by Will Smith. You could hear Will Smith say twice, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
there's
yeah.
a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I was gonna say this topic is just kind of interesting to me because there's a lot of different questions that I had that I know that your insight would be helpful to maybe either contradict or go along with my insight
Yeah. So okay.
on
So
this one.
I will give you my thoughts on it first, uh,
Okay.
and we can kind of go from there. So after the fact, we find out that Jada Pinkett Smith is suffering from alopecia, which is a skin condition that you can lose your hair from. So that's why her head is shaved.
Okay.
Um, not whether Chris Rock knew that or not, it doesn't matter. She had a shaved head at the award ceremony, and I would imagine um, an unspoken rule there is if you're a famous person at an award show like that, you could be subject to a joke here or there, so you need to have thick skin, no pun intended.
Okay.
Will Smith was laughing at that joke, but if you go back and you look at the look that Jada gave him, I don't think he did that because he wanted to. You know, but I also that's also a couple where they did an interview together on the news last year before last, where they talked about Jada's infidelity with Will. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that's part of the joke short around too. It's that you can talk about your wife cheating on you on live TV, but Chris Rock making a ball joke about her is crossing the line, and you got to slap him.
Yeah.
So like I
Okay.
said, there's a lot to unpack there.
So I guess my first question that came into my mind is, um, it kind of comes along the line of when is it appropriate in today's world to defend your wife?
Mhm.
Because part of me has heard that some people have said, "Oh, I respect Will Smith so much because he defended his wife, right? He
Yeah,
he 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 took that moment to say, I'm going to defend my wife's actions."
yeah,
I don't know a lot about Jada Pinkett Smith, but what I have seen from her, she looks more than capable of taking care of her own fights.
yeah.
Uh, you know, so part of my question is that in today's world, is it still the norm that the man is to defend the woman in a situation like that? Or how do you pick and choose when you're going to act as the chivalrous man and when you're going to say, you know what, this is something that you know you should that needs you to take care of, or the wife should be taking care of it. And I only ask that because we're in a land of equals, right? We're all equals.
Yeah.
So the a woman needing to be protected by a man seems a little outdated to me. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, everything's situational. I think in a
Yes,
scenario
yeah.
like I think in a scenario like that, she could have defended herself too. That's fine. You're right. I think he did what he had to do. I mean, you understand the tone in your household and the temperature of the room with your significant other, and if uh, that tone and temperature urged you to go do something with to defend her name and her honor like that, and that's what you had to do, then you probably got to do that because a happy wife is a happy life.
So at that point, it didn't really matter whether Will Smith wanted to do that or not. It was just he had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of it might have been guttural. It's hard to say to go back to what it was. What the part I found very interesting was the splashback on Twitter from all the other comedians saying like, "Oh, I have to host a show, or I'm doing a set this week. Now I think Will Smith's opened the gate for people coming up and just hitting us if they don't like what we're doing." And I'm sitting there like, "Shut the fuck up," you know? I
Well, that's a little over the top. It was
yeah,
a situational thing.
yeah,
I think that I mean, I I guess everyone has to react to that differently. So, because I put myself in that shoes. I guess I'm just not the type of person to confront in that way.
yeah,
Like, I don't know what kind of situation it would need to be in where if something happened to Noreen, that the only response that was appropriate was to slap someone or to physically, do something like that.
You,
Um,
you said it.
I'm trying to. But you're right. The situational is probably it. But I'm just not sure if that is the situation
Well,
that is appropriate to do that.
you said an interesting word, slapped. I mean, that's what he did. It was a slap.
Yeah.
I mean, all things considered, you talk about letting someone, get off the hook easy if you're gonna hit them. It's a slap. I mean, Will Smith's a big dude, and he could have got up and just sucker punched Rock just as easy as he slapped him, you know, and it probably would have rocked him a whole lot harder. Guess see what I did there? Um,
Yes, I do. Play on word. Yeah,
um,
that's good. That's good.
but obviously, there's a choice to slap him instead of punch him like that. So I don't know, man. It's
So then the next question I have is, I was thinking, what would have happened if Will Smith had done that to someone who said, you know what, no one touches my face, and went after Chris or Will Smith. He
uh,
was fortunate that Chris Rock took a non retribution approach to that situation. But I'm sure there are actors that if you would have done that to them, they probably would have hauled off and slugged you.
yeah, and that would have been the
And
great
if that had exploded on the
national
Oscars,
live TV.
yeah,
That would have been the
um,
greatest moment in Oscars history.
well, it would have definitely been a shock. I mean, think about that. What if the Dwayne Johnson had said a comment like that?
I don't think it would have slowed him down, to be honest with you.
You don't?
I don't think so.
You don't think slapping Dwayne the Rock Johnson would have maybe slowed him down a little bit? I don't
Well,
care how big Will Smith is. Chris Johnson or Dwayne Johnson's a beast.
yeah, he is a beast, but I think we've seen plenty of times in this world just because you're a beast doesn't mean you know how to be a beast.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess Will Smith did something that, frankly, that's another thing. In my life, it's all well and good to do that to someone else, but don't be surprised if they don't take kindly to what you just did.
Yeah, for me,
Uh,
I just like I said, I thought the retribution or the fallout was more interesting than the actual event itself. Because then the Academy came out and said, "Well, we're not going to strip Will Smith of his Oscar award." That's like I'm thinking, how can you strip him of that award? Because he literally won for the best actor for his movie. This had nothing to do with acting. This was something that happened on your show, and to take
right.
that award away from like that's completely stupid. And how would you feel if you're the other actor that won it because Will Smith punched Chris Rock? That's not the same. That's you came in second place, but you won on a technicality
Right.
after the fact. After the
Yep.
fact,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. No, that I agree. I see that. I
yeah.
agree with you. I don't think that event in and of itself meant that Will Smith should have lost his
Uh,
award
on top of that,
victory.
on top of that, that's also, excuse me, an award show that has struggled for years with viewership. And had you done something like that to a man who's been a very famous actor and a very popular actor for a long time, even with some of the bad movies he has, you might have put another nail in your coffin for credibility.
Well, and okay, so that leads to my next question. This night is this event is the one event that every actor dreams of.
Hmm.
And now, Will Smith, your event for something that you did as a lifetime to build up to is now marred for the rest of your life, not because you won the award, but because of actions that had nothing to do with your acting.
Yeah.
How does that play into the embarrassment that Will Smith and genuinely, I think he genuinely is very embarrassed
Yeah.
that the event even happened. Even if he totally feels justified, I don't think that he is. I think he's very embarrassed that it happened because it's taken away
Yeah.
from his achievement. No actor wants their achievement to be taken away by something that has nothing to do with my achievement.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's embarrassed. I mean, they got it happen before he won the actual award. So, um, yeah, well, I guess it doesn't really make a difference at this point either. But I don't know. I feel like it takes away from it, and it's a moment that nobody will forget in the immediate future. But in 10 years, it's not going to make a difference. And in 10 years, it's not going to be, you know, Bad Boys 7, Mike Lowry's retirement party starring, Oscar award winning actor Will Smith, and all, aka the guy who slapped Chris Rock.
Okay.
It'll just
So you
be
think
Oscar
in the
Academy Award winning Will
immediacy,
Smith. Yeah.
yeah, the immediacy will be marred by it, but in the long term, no one will look at the Academy Award that he won and think anything more than of that incident.
Yeah, no, because it didn't take away from the fact that he earned that award for the role he played.
Do you think that um, women ex- kind of expect that kind of chivalry from their men?
I think most would like to see it, but I think it's a different world today than what some people have grown up in. So I'm not sure if that's what if you would see that happen with the younger generations.
One of the things that I'm very cognizant of, and I don't know if you run into this with Janice, but we have very strong, capable women in our relationships,
Uh huh.
and one of the things that I'm very aware of is sometimes when Noreen will come home and have a bad day or something happened, and she'll talk to me about it. I'm instantly my first reaction is, well, you need to do this, this, and this,
Yeah.
instead of just listening and saying, okay, you're not asking for my opinion on how to fix it. All you're doing is venting of what happened. And I'm very cognizant of it because I look at, Noreen's a very successful in her career, uh, proving that she doesn't need me to solve her problem for her.
Oh,
She doesn't need me to do that. She's venting to me about the problem, but not as a solution. Um, and I feel like I feel like this scenario with the Jada Pinkett Smith, I, I feel like it was a response to fix a problem that I don't know needed to be fixed. I just I don't know that I didn't think his action was a necessary action to right a wrong or to fix a situation that
listen,
Jada Pinkett Smith found herself in.
that was the result of that was weighing the situation and realizing it's better to hit Chris Rock on national television and deal with the fallout than go home with a pissed off Jada Pinkett Smith because he didn't do something about the joke that was made at her expense.
Well, then that might be
That's
an issue with her then.
that's a
Maybe that's a reflection of her, if
I'm,
that's really what she thought.
I'm not
You
saying
need to do
it's not.
something immediately.
I'm saying all I'm saying is if you go back and you watch the interview they did together, it was a year or two ago, and they talked about their marital issues and whatever else. You'd understand why there's all those memes and jokes about how Will Smith will slap Chris Rock over a joke about her hair, but she'll go home with whatever rapper she wants because she wants him right there. It's you know, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a certain parody to it all in itself, and I can understand why he's getting a lot of heat for it. I understand the you stand by your woman and you do what's right, but um, context is everything, and I'm not sure if all the context will ever come out.
I mean, you don't have to answer this question if it's uncomfortable, but do you ever have to balance, does Janice need my help or does Janice not need my help? Like, has that situation ever come up where,
Yeah,
do I step in and take control or do I step back and let it, unwind?
no, it happens. I think it happens in every relationship, and
Yeah.
I think you said the biggest thing is knowing when to just listen and when to offer advice. And usually when I talk about my problems, I don't do it to get advice. I do it just because I need to vent and get it off my chest. I don't want people to fix my problems. I want to fix my own damn problems.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I do think that there is still I don't know if it's a bias. I'm not sure if it's a preconceived notion that damsel in distress, right? I mean,
Hmm.
oh, all my problems I can't solve them on my own. I need someone to save me from my problems. I still think that in some realms, in some circles, that's still a thought. And like I've heard a lot of people said, "Oh man, I respect him so much that he would defend his wife." That and it's like, are we at that point still that a wife still needs to be defended?
Well, in fairness, though, like I said, I think a lot of people that are saying that um, probably don't know the full story behind them. So, and I don't know if that would change their tune per se, and maybe it should on some level. maybe it shouldn't change their tune at all. Because you're right, man. If you can work through those issues, you should stand by your partner no matter what and do what's best for you and your partner. And at the end of the day, they squashed whatever issues they had. They're fine again, allegedly. So
Who's they?
yeah, Chris and Will.
Oh, they fixed it.
Yeah, allegedly it was taken care of. Smith apologized today,
Okay.
in a public statement. So it's what's done is done. And the upside is, I'm sure Will Smith's next movie will get a big box office bump now because he's an Academy Award winner and because he slapped Chris Rock. And Chris Rock's comedy tour will see a bump in ticket sales because he's the guy that got slapped at the Oscars, and people want to see that for their own reasons. So no matter what, everybody wins, and this is any publicity is good publicity in this case.
Yeah, I do. I do. Will say that just from a purely, I didn't watch the incident, but from what I read about it, Chris Rock actually handled it pretty well.
Oh yeah.
In terms of taking the slap and then kind of coming up like, dude, it was, like not making a big deal out of it. That kind of emotional control. I would imagine there were other people that wouldn't have happened.
Well,
If you would have like if you would have slapped Sean Penn, if you would have slapped someone else, there might have been a different unprofessional reaction that would have escalated it.
yeah, and I think that's it. And that's why a lot of people thought it was staged because Chris Rock handled it very well, and he did exactly what you should have done in that scenario. And like I said, he knew about her medical condition or not, but it wasn't a joke about her medical condition. It was just a joke that, hey man, she had a shaved head and she's fit. So if they're doing GI Jane 2, hell, he'll see her there because Demi Moore was jacked when she did that back in the '90s.
Well,
Remember
Jada Pinkett Smith, I mean, whether I don't know if I necessarily like her personality, but she's a very attractive woman. She's been an attractive woman for a long time, and they showed a picture of her without her hair. And I thought, I don't think anyone would have said, "Oh, she has that disease with the hair," and said, "Oh, she's not attractive." I mean, she's still an attractive woman. Like I
Oh
can
yeah.
see, she's buff, she's in good shape, she's strong, and I, and I wonder what the conversation was the next day between the two of them about this. Like, I wonder if you know if it was like, "Oh man, I can't believe you stood up for me. Thank you so much," or if Smith said, "Yeah, that was not a good situation, and I'm sorry." I just wonder how they reacted to each other about it.
And I guess we'll never know until they
Because I
sit
didn't know
talk.
that about that she admitted to infidelity on him. Because that's pretty embarrassing. That's
Yeah,
pretty embarrassing. If
yeah,
you admit and joke about being infidelity,
yeah,
or you joke about cheating on your husband,
yeah.
that's very demasculine too. Maybe that was his frustration. Like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna mask because I'm not gonna take this uh, again.
Maybe you're right. So anyway, as we
So
wrap up the show, 'cause I think you got to get back to the beach here.
I
I mean,
do.
and enjoy all your
You're cutting into my sun time, man.
exactly.
I
It's
still got a couple hours left.
only 4:30 over Hawaii with you.
That's right.
If you were going to win an Academy Award, what would you be nominated for, and who would you thank in your acceptance speech? We want to hear about it. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Carnage. If you want to nominate our EP Tom for Liquid Carnage EP of the Year, hit him up on Twitter and Instagram at liquid_EP.
He's a runaway favorite, though. He's a runaway
Runaway.
favorite. That's
Crowded
right.
field. Crowded field.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I will be back for next week's recording, back on normal time zone, so we'll be able to record our normal time. But well, actually, you are recording in your normal time. I had to take away from some sunbathing to come in, so
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
hoping we get to a point where we can just record anywhere. Where are you, Jason? Oh, I'm on the beach somewhere. Where are you? Oh, I'm at a concert right now. We'll just make
Well,
it
I'm
work.
not going to record at a concert, but I hear what you're saying.
So, well, hey everyone. Mahalo, which is Hawaiian for thank you. Aloha, which is a goodbye. That was Scott. I am Jason, and as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some liquid courage. Bye.